And that in the time of the direction and so much of where the news is going, it is nice to have someone who would speak to us as if we have a clue or some recognition or relationship with common sense. Bernie also holds a very special place in my heart because when I was consecrated in 1997, he brought his guitar along and helped provide music for my Episcopal consecration. I have enjoyed listening to Bernie over the radio for many years. With Bernie, you never know what he's going to share with us, and that's the unique thing. Bernie is not a one-trick pony. Because the news is diverse, Bernie is professional enough to be diverse. And no matter if whatever it is that he's covering, you come away from his reporting with some knowledge of what is going on in our community. And that is a rarity. And it's because of this rarity that we are so pleased to be able to, after all these years, to present Bernie Tafoya with the St. Joseph the Worker Award. Congratulations.
Bishop and all the honorees, thank you so much. I'm very humbled by this, and I'll tell you why. And the bishop will corroborate this. When he asked me to accept this honor, I didn't know if I should. And my faith tells me that, you know, I've won many awards over the years, and I've been in this business more than 30 years, for pieces of work or individual stories I've done on the quality of the work, but not the impact of the work, which is what the St. Joseph the Worker Award is. So when the bishop asked me to accept this honor, I took a step back and I said, can I let you know? Because instinctively, my faith tells me, if you're doing something good with your left hand, don't let your right hand know. And I didn't know if it would have been even proper to accept. But I thought it was such a wonderful honor, and I'm humbled by it. And so it's with that gratitude that I say thank you.
As a young teacher, I was asked just prior to the beginning of the school year at Carver High School to teach a course that was entitled Chicago History. I was a little nervous because I hadn't done anything that specialized as yet in my career. And being part of the faculty and given that particular assignment that I had, one of the things that I was also required to do was to be the faculty chairperson of African History Month at Carver High School. It was interesting as the faculty and I went through the list of people in Chicago who have played such a significant part. And at that time, we were finally getting around to recognizing the role of women who have made such an important impact in our city. And the history of the city of Chicago would not be what it is if it had not been for the contribution of Avis Lavelle. Many people in this city in high political office, from mayor on down, would have been lost without the counsel, suggestions, and opinions offered by a woman who not only has had her finger on the pulse of our community, but has been able to translate that pulse into an encouragement of dialogue that has continued to move us forward. I am going to go on a limb, Ms. Lavelle, by saying that Mayor Daley's success would have been much more diminished had it not been for your contribution. Many times you were the face of the administration. You were the voice of the administration. And for many of our people, seeing a woman teaching us, explaining to us, and encouraging us to think in a forward direction, we may not have been able to get through some of the difficulties in our city history that we did. For many generations, the role of women in government has been ignored or has never been given its full due. I cannot begin to imagine the number of hurdles you had to climb in your professional career. And for all the many years in which you have chosen a vocation to public service which puts you on the front line so often. I'm going to assume there may have been a night or two where you wished that as you drove home, I wish there were no such thing as television cameras, microphones, and no offense, Bernie. While we have not yet come to the point in society where I believe that women have really and truly found and been given their opportunity for equal contribution, the progress made to date for all women in public service could not have been realized except for the example of Avis Lavelle. It is interesting where you have a rare person that employs common sense to a problem and can be part of the problem-solving process. It is very easy to get up and say, I don't like something, but it takes a much more committed person to say, here's the problem, what are we going to do to resolve it? Far too many landmark decisions in our city fail to recognize your imprint on them. For that, in a historical way, I am very sorry. As an educator, I hope someday that your memoirs and or public papers will be donated to a place in which students of government affairs, both young men and women, may someday look at your journey and see through your example a vocation to public service. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the diocese, it's my privilege to present the St. Joseph the Worker Award to Avis Lavelle.
Bishop, and to the household of faith, I am deeply honored to receive this award. And first, let me say, Bishop, happy birthday, and many more. The alternative is definitely undesirable. You know, I feel like a person who has been extraordinarily blessed throughout my life because I did not choose the course that my life took. You know, I remember going to school with many people who really, at least they had a direction they felt like their life was going to take. They knew what they were going to try to do. I actually was a broadcaster. My first job was a disc jockey. It was a very pleasurable job. And then I found myself in the news business. I worked with Bernie Tafoya. We were very young kids 30 years ago. And I enjoyed that very much. Government opened itself to me. I feel like my life has been divinely ordered. I am a person of great